What's good, YouTube? Venny here, bringing you a 30 custom tactic video. You know I like doing these when I've hit a 30. You obviously want to share my custom tactics, what's worked for me. As you might have noticed, that there hasn't been any like what custom tactics are working for me recently, mainly because there hasn't been anything what's been working for me. I've been struggling in weekend league, be hitting elite ones, missing out on top 100 by skill rating when I've hit a 29, things like that, little pity things. Obviously we can always fix that by just playing a couple more games earlier on that Friday. It is what it is. Obviously we got qualifiers on the weekend, so it's quite hard to make sure you get a good enough skill rating, but all the other pros are doing it, so I've only got myself to blame really on that end. As we go into the FUT Champions and just quickly show that we have hit the 30-0. My team is ridiculous. That is going to be the first thing I'm going to say about it. So you probably will all expect me to hit a 30-0, but I do believe these custom tactics might help you out. If you've got a weaker team, as you see there, total 30 wins, total played 30 matches. I believe we finished 44th at the end, which isn't the best, but I believe 25, it's 25th to 10th, and then 25th to 49th. So as long as we're in the bracket of 50, that's fine, because I think we get 5 reds, and hopefully there might be a team of the week. De Gea was out. I'm not sure who else has played good, but that red De Gea would definitely be amazing. Basically, as we see, this is my team. As I mentioned, it is a ridiculous team, so don't think that these custom tactics are going to work for you just because they work for me. As you know, my team is ridiculous, so obviously that they're going to have I'm going to have an advantage, let's put it that way. But I do believe these custom tactics will help a lot because of the way I have my team set up. It's to stop the certain type of shot, which is the finesse shots. Basically, I've gone with the approach: if we can stop the finesse shots, we can basically win the game, because that's where I can see most of my goals, is the first time finesses and whatnot. So we combat the middle, combat the back line, and you'll see what I basically use. So balance, this is what I've got on balance. It's 6-3 drop back offensive style, balance 6-4. Basically with this, it's there just in case I have to go really defensive and just play quite wide, but if I really have to do that, I usually just go to my ultra defensive tactic and just sort of hold out the game. So sometimes I use this. I wouldn't put this on too much. I wouldn't really recommend it. But this is my main custom tactic, what I use this week. It is drop back. I've seen a lot of pros being using this lately. You got some of the top pros on PlayStation, Nicholas, Stefano Pina, a couple on Xbox, I believe Tex uses it, and so on. They've been using drop back, so I thought I'd give it a go myself, and I tell you what, it's been very good for my defense. We got width 4, depth 4. With drop back, it does really compact the back line. Obviously, you've got more people coming back and helping, and which is the important part, because everyone's just taking shots from everywhere. But if you've got people behind the ball, you're going to get blocks in and whatnot. So obviously that's a bonus. Balance offensive style. Bit of everything as always. With balance, you can make your team play in a certain way. You don't have to force it if you've got possession, because possession sometimes they always come close, and it's a little bit stale at times. So balance, obviously you can trigger runs and whatnot, and width is 5. I feel like having a balanced width is always good. Sometimes if you go too much, it's a little bit hard to get off them first time finesses yourself. They are a weapon you need to use in your attack, so definitely have a lower width. Maybe I've seen some people use 3, but I personally go with 5, because I still like to have the width in the attack, because sometimes I like to hit the byline, do a couple of skill moves, cut in, do a pass across the goal, and obviously just score a sweat basically. Players in the box 4, we're not trying too many people to get forward, but we want obviously people to help in the attack. So in the instructions, we got stay back on the right back and left back. Of course, we've got the width from the wingers, from the Ram and Lamb, and we've got the drop back, so they're going to give us support anyway, so we don't need them really pushing up and so on. We're trying to keep a very steady team, try and be quite compact and just win the game. Sometimes it is going to be a 2-0 win, but just because how you're set up, but it is what it is. And then CDMs, I've gone with man mark, stay back and cover centre. I've gone with man mark this like last week or so, mainly because I feel, like I've been mentioning, the finesses come through the middle of the pitch, and if you've got two people on man mark, I feel like they're quite sturdy in the middle. They don't wander off, and they're just like always there, ready to like hit to one of the people who they're passing to for the finesse. So yeah, that's why I got man mark. I think it just helps a lot with the finesses. That's what literally the key of these custom tactics is, to counter the finesses. All the cams on balance, nothing too special, and then the striker on getting behind, get them stretched runs going. Obviously, if we're on drop back, we need him to be pushing their back line back deep. So we got the cams and the CDMs giving space to actually attack in. My ultra, now we'll go defensive. This is my plan B. Still 4-2-3-1 though. That's my actual thing this week. I'm not changing any of the formations to like a 4-4-2 if it's struggling. I'm just changing the style of like the defensive style and maybe some offensive styles. All depends really on the opponent. But I'm keeping 4-2-3-1 mainly because it is the best formation in the game. Simple as that. We got defensive style balanced, width 5, depth 4, very similar to what we just had on drop back, but with this time with balance, it's easier for you to press the cams and the CDMs in your right back and left back. Obviously, drop back is like everyone's pushing backwards. Balance, you can sort of, they're all quite freely to be able to press people. Obviously you want to press smart, so don't obviously just pull out people wherever you want. Like I see a lot of people, they pull out their left back and right back. So say if I'm attacking down your right and you pull out your left back to try and cut down my right attacking mid, I just do a 1-2 around, play the ball down the line, and you're not going to catch me, mainly because I've got really quick players down that wing. So yeah, just be wary when you're pressing. It's definitely a skill with pressing, but there's obviously a lot of people this year who can just press whatever they want because of the tactics. So sometimes the press actually isn't that skillful, but it is at the same time. So it's a bit hard. Obviously, there's a way to press. You can just press like just randomly, but yeah, there is definitely a skill when you do it on balance, I would say, because not everyone's pushing towards the ball. Offensive style, balance 5, and then players in the box 3 this time. This one's a little bit more in attack. I would say it's a little bit more. I don't know what the word to use. Maybe I would say slow. Maybe I'm not trying to force the CDMs to push up too much. It's very just with the 4 attackers. Let them do the job. Yeah, and then if I'm down the right, as you can see where the CDMs are quite positioned, you can obviously just cut it back towards the CDM, into the other CDM, into the like left attacking mid, and then first time finesse. You know, that's like the go-to thing what people use this year. I believe the tactics is basically the same. Actually, no, the instructions. Actually, that doesn't need to be on overlap because that. Actually, I don't enjoy having it on overlap. So the instructions even are exactly the same as what you saw in attacking. Trying to keep everything very similar unless I've got to go all out for the win. And if I want to go all out for the win, this is my tactic. We've got on my ultra attacking, it's still 4-2-3-1 as I mentioned. Width is 5, depth is 6. Like I mentioned with balance, it's very skillful on how you press, but with 6 depth, your team's quite high and it's really easy to press. You don't need to put pressure on heavy touch or possession loss. If you have 6 depth and balance, I'm telling you, and you know how to play the game, you'll be able to press people easy. So in attack, we've got balanced 6 width this time and 4 players in the box. We've gone for a little bit higher width this time. It's only +1, so you're not going to see too much difference. It's just a natural starting position when I'm actually attacking, mainly because you'll see what I have on my right back and left back. If my cams are wider, I can easily just play like a 1-2 down the line and so on. So let's get into the instructions. We have balanced on the right back and left back. This is what I was mentioning. This is why I've gone 6 width, because if the Ram and Lamb are quite like wide, I can just do a 1-2 from the right back and left back into them, and then we can just play down the line. If I have stay back, obviously they're not going to help you that much in attack, so you don't really need to have them the starting position that wide, because you're going to be playing quite narrow in attack. We've got cut, pass and lane, stay back, cover centre on this one. We've got cut, pass and lane mainly because, as I mentioned, this tactic's more the press, I would say, and cut passing lanes. I feel like my CDMs are way more aggressive than if they was on man mark. So we got that. I think they cover the left back and right back a little bit better as well. If you want them to always cover right back and left back, just put cover wing, and you'll be fine with that. And then in the counts, we've got getting the bots for the right attacking mid and left attacking mid. It's something what I see Nicholas use when he's playing. I think it's just you get them runs, what I've mentioned plenty of times in previous custom tactics. When you getting the bots and you're running down the right, the left attacking mid is going to be making that back post run every single time. So it's definitely worth having it on. And then Cam getting behind, very simple. Simple instructions really. Nothing really changes too much in between the custom tactics, just sometimes defensive styles and so on. Ultra defensive, this has been the same for a while now. Drop back 5-4, possession 5-3, 4-2-3-1 wide. Come back on defense on like literally everyone, stay back. We're not trying to push out anyone too much. It's just a defensive formation. You've seen it plenty of times. It's definitely actually it's really good at the end of the games when people go free at the back, because you've got the right mid and left mid really wide. They just do quite natural attacking runs. When you've got right mid and left mids, they're quite I think it's because they have this support runs getting behind, so you don't have to put it on, but where they have that like set in that position, they make some really good runs down the right mid and left mid. So as I mentioned, these tactics are very defensive, so if you're quite a passive, I would say, in how you want to play. If you're more of an aggressive player, fiddle around with it. Like I mentioned, having 5 and 6 on width and depth was really good for me when I was using it. Like I was using that at one point full time. That sounds really weird, full time, but like constantly, rather than drop back on 4 depth. But yeah, I would say this is like tactics was going to be very passive. Take your time in attack and defense. Don't rush anything. Hope these custom tactics help you guys out. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace.